Now, what I'm alleging is that Pelosi did not, she didn't word things very well. She didn't word things in a manner that would, utilizing the best human relations techniques that would be needed to reach a deal with the White House, but instead did just the opposite. It seemed like she worded things in such a way, in making a deadline to reach an agreement with Trump to reach a deal on a stimulus deal, agreement on a stimulus deal. She worded it in a way to make it less likely that an agreement would be reached with Trump. By that I mean it seemed like she was. Well, let's go back to. It looks. Well, let's go under the assumption that the worse the economy is doing going into the election, the better it will be for Democrats, because as the economy goes, that will if the economy is doing bad, that's going to be bad for Trump, and it's going to be good for Biden, and good for the Democrats, because it's currently a Republican president in office, and so presumably the thinking goes that the public's going to blame the president for a bad economy. But if a stimulus deal is reached before the election, that's going to give a boost, of course, to the economy, because that's what the stimulus deals are supposed to do. That's what it's designed to help the economy. And so, if an agreement is reached before the election, that's going to be bad for Democrats, Pelosi's side, and that's going to be, but it's going to be good for Trump. So, what I'm wondering is, did Pelosi intentionally sabotage the chances of a stimulus agreement being reached before the election by wording her statements this Sunday morning in such a way that Trump would be less likely to agree to it? And I think Trump would be less likely to agree to it because it sounds like Pelosi is making a demand. She's making an order. She's ordering Trump to meet this deadline. And if Trump meets the deadline, if he does agree to that, to reach an agreement by the end of the day Tuesday, then that'll make Trump look like he's being obedient. He's obeying Pelosi, and that is very bad luck. That is a very bad look for Trump and the Republicans, looking like they're being subservient to the demands of Speaker Pelosi, of all people. And so Pelosi didn't give any room for Trump to save face if he were to reach an agreement before that deadline that she imposed. And from what I heard, it did not sound like she was wording it in such a way that she could have just worded it such that she could have said, well, I don't see how there's any way that we can get this done before the election. If we don't reach an agreement by about Tuesday, maybe Wednesday at the latest. She did not word it that way. She did not make that clear. But I think by the end of if that Tuesday comes and goes, then I think maybe she will say, well, I gave this opportunity. I tried. I thought I made it clear that if we don't reach an agreement with Trump by the end of the day Tuesday, then then we won't be able to get this done. She'll try to paint this as it's where she'll paint it as though she did make it clear that she wasn't not making a demand, but right now, as of Sunday today, that is not clear. It sounds like she is making a demand. It sounds like she is ordering Trump to get reach an agreement by the end of the day, Tuesday. And so maybe she's thinking that she knows that Trump is not going to do that, not going to not going to obey, because it'll look like he's being obedient to her. So that's going to look bad for him. But it's like it's a lose-lose situation for Trump, because he'll get blamed for not agreeing to Pelosi's demands, and he'll get blamed for no stimulus deal. And but if he did agree to it, then he'd lose, because it looks like he's being obedient to Pelosi. So it's a lose-lose situation for him, and it's a win-win for Pelosi, because she'll say, well, I gave this opportunity, and Trump rejected it. If he does that, and if he does reject it, as I suspect she thinks he will, then the economy will go down, and then she can also blame him for the fall of the economy before the election, and then that, of course, will decrease the likelihood of Trump getting reelected. And so I'm really highly suspicious of the strategy of Pelosi. I'm wondering if she does not. I suspect she does not want a stimulus bill reached before the election, and I'm wondering if she's sabotaging the chances for that by giving a demand on the president, giving a deadline of a specific day that she's saying he must reach. And so that's my theory. I don't know for sure if that's the case, but it's I suspect it is. So I just wanted to put that out there, give my theory out there. So I guess that's all I have to say for now. Thanks for watching.